Chapter 2 of the Udyoga Parva. Peace talks between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. When the Brahmana priest had arrived in Hastinapur, he came to the court of the Kurus and spoke words on behalf of Yudhisthira. He spoke in the presence of Bhisma, Drona, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, Karna, Vidura, and others. He said, "It is well known that Dhritarashtra and Pandu were born of the same father. There is no doubt that they should equally share the wealth of the father. Why is it now that the sons of Pandu are not given an equal portion of that wealth? The sons of Dhritarashtra have tried in the past to exterminate the Pandavas from the face of the earth, but have been unsuccessful. Even after the sons of Pandu acquired a kingdom by their own endeavors, the wicked Duryodhana cheated them out of it, with the aid of Subal's son Shakuni. Their beautiful wife was also insulted by Dushashan, and they were sent into the forest for 13 years. This was all done with the consent of Dhritarashtra. Those pious sons of Pandu have now emerged from exile and won a peaceful settlement with the Kurus. Despite all the offenses that have been committed in the past, they are willing to forget them and are not eager for war with the sons of Dhritarashtra. They desire to get back their own kingdom without involving the world in ruin. The sons of Pandu are now more powerful. Although the Pandavas only have 7 Akshahini divisions of soldiers, while the Kurus have 11, these are counteracted by men who equal 1,000 Akshahini divisions of troops, such as Bhima and Satyaki. There is also the mighty-armed Dhananjaya, who has the strength alone to defeat these forces. He now has Vyasadev's son, Krishna, of great wisdom, for his chariot driver. Who is there in the world who will oppose them? Therefore give back to the Pandavas what is rightly theirs, and avoid any unnecessary bloodshed." After hearing the words of the Brahmana, Bhishma spoke to all assembled. "How fortunate that the Pandavas are well and have Krishna, the Supreme Lord, as their ally. They are entitled to get back the kingdom that was given by their father. Arjuna, the son of Pritha, cannot be defeated in battle. Even the king of heaven, Indra, cannot stand in front of Partha as he releases arrows from his Gandiva bow. Other bowmen cannot even compare to him." Unable to hear the glories of Krishna, Karna interrupted Grandfather Bhishma and said, "What is the good of repeating the glories of Arjuna again and again? The sons of Pandu have been discovered before the end of their year of exile. They should go back to the forest for another 13 years and then live as servants to Duryodhana. If they turn their faces from the path of righteousness and desire war, then they will be slain on the field of battle." Bhishma then spoke to the son of Radha. "Why do you talk so much? Do you not remember when Arjuna single-handedly overpowered in battle the 6 great chariot fighters? If we do not do as this Brahmana has said, then we shall certainly be killed in battle." King Dhritarashtra then pacified Grandfather Bhishma and spoke to the assembled kings and princes. "The advice Bhishma has given us is for our good, and for the good of the Pandavas. I will send this Brahmana back to Upaplavya, and Sanjaya can go there also to offer greetings to them." The priest of Drupa then left for the city of the Matsyas. King Dhritarashtra then called for Sanjaya and instructed him to go to the Pandavas and inquire of their welfare. He also gave him messages for the Pandavas. Sanjaya then went to Upaplavya and was given a welcomed reception from the Pandavas. King Yudhisthira inquired all about his relatives in the Kuru house and then asked Sanjaya to repeat the message from King Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya said, "I hope that Maharaj Yudhisthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadev are faring well, as Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Let there be peace among the sons of Pandu and my sons. We have heard that you are protected by many kings of the earth, as are we. With all these forces assembled, what is the need for unnecessary bloodshed? My desire and the desire of the Kuru elders is for peace. Therefore let some arrangement be made so that the whole Kshatriya race may not be annihilated." King Yudhisthira then replied to Sanjaya, "What makes you think that we desire war? Peace is preferable to total annihilation of the warriors of the earth. Why does Dhritarashtra speak of peace now? Why did he not try to stop the injustice at the gambling match? Why did he not try to stop the injustice to Draupadi? Why did he not listen to the words of Vidura? Why all of a sudden does he want peace? Why does Dhritarashtra nourish his envious son, whose companions are the wicked Karna, Shakuni, and Dushashan? The fact is that he is not willing to part with half of the kingdom due to affection for his dishonest son. If he is serious about this proposal for peace, then let him return to me my kingdom of Indraprastha." Sanjaya then spoke to King Yudhisthira. O Pandava, I have heard your words, which are full of righteousness. O son of Pritha, listen to the words I now speak to you. Life in this world is transient. Material fame and name last only for seconds in this temporary world. If the Kurus are not willing to give your share of the kingdom, then live in the kingdom of the Andakas and the Vrishnis by begging alms. This mortal existence is subject to constant suffering and is unstable. One who seeks after wealth in this world suffers from his material attraction. But one who acquires virtue and truthfulness never laments, for these treasures no one can take from him. Therefore desist from the desire for kingdom and wealth, so that humanity can be saved from a dreaded war. When you went to the forest for exile, all the kings of the earth came to your aid. You could have at that time humbled the pride of the puffed-up Duryodhana. Why have you allowed your enemies to grow so powerful? To give up this idea of gaining a kingdom would be preferable to seeing Bhisma and Drona slain on the field of battle. What will you gain from this? Having slain all the heroes of the Kuru house, what bliss will you experience? Yudhisthira replied, It is true, O Sanjaya, that one should not seek wealth in this world by unrighteous means. But it must be decided first whether it is virtue or vice that I seek. Everyone is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here next to me is the Lord of all created beings. Here is the celebrated Krishna, who has humbled all the great warriors of the earth. He is able to judge whether my actions are from lust or virtue. I never reject what Krishna has spoken to me. Lord Krishna then spoke in the assembly. I desire, O Sanjaya, that the sons of Pandu may not be ruined, but they may prosper. I also pray for the prosperity of the Kurus as well. However, there cannot be peace as long as the sons of Dhritarashtra are envious of the Pandavas. How can you say that Yudhisthira is unmindful of his duties? How can you say that his desire for his kingdom is a desire of lust? King Yudhisthira is ever mindful of his duties and has never known lust or wickedness in his heart. The duty of the Kshatriya is to protect those around him. If a Kshatriya unlawfully takes the property of another, then he is subject to be punished. Duryodhana has unlawfully taken the kingdom of the Pandavas, and therefore he deserves to be punished. What is the difference between a thief and Dhritarashtra's sons? Duryodhana has seized the wealth of the Pandavas and is therefore subject to death. Those dull-headed fools assembled together as Dhritarashtra's sons are under the clutches of death. I would have sympathy for the Kuru elders if they had spoken up against the unrighteous acts performed against Draupadi and the Pandavas in the assembly hall at Hastinapur. However, this is not the case. How can you say that Yudhisthira acts out of vice? I will personally go to the city of Hastinapur to settle this matter with the Kurus. I hope that they will treat me well and listen to my words for peace. If not, they will be burnt by the wrath of Bhima and Arjuna. The sons of Dhritarashtra have offended the Pandavas in many ways, and the reactions to these activities will be their destruction. King Yudhisthira then bid farewell to Sanjaya and sent kind words to all the members of the Kuru family. He told Sanjaya, Speak the following words to Duryodhana. This desire of yours which torments your heart is very unreasonable. It has no justification. We have no desire to do anything which is disagreeable to you. O foremost of the Bharatas, either give me back my kingdom of Indraprastha or fight with me. Peace is what we really want. Therefore, if you will not grant us a province, then at least give us 5 villages. Even this will end the quarrel. Having spoken thus, Yudhisthira, the foremost of pious men, sent Sanjaya back to the city of Hastinapur. Sanjaya then returned to the city of Hastinapur and reported all messages given by the Pandavas. In the presence of Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, Duryodhana, Ashvatthama, Karna, Jayadratha, and all the kings assembled for the cause of Duryodhana, Sanjaya relayed all the messages given by the Pandavas. The Kuru elders agreed with the Pandavas' request for peace, but Duryodhana showed little respect and left the assembled, refusing to return anything to the Pandavas. After all had left, King Dhritarashtra inquired about the strength of the Pandavas from Sanjaya. Present in the room were Gandhari, Vyasa, and Vidura. Dhritarashtra inquired, Please tell me truly, O Sanjaya, of the strength of Krishna and Arjuna. Sanjaya replied, Krishna and Arjuna have taken their birth on earth for the protection of the pious and to annihilate the miscreants. With Lord Krishna sitting on Arjuna's chariot, the Kurus will not survive. If the whole universe were to be placed on one scale and Lord Keshava on the other, that same Supreme Lord who creates this whole universe would tip the scale. Janardhan can, at his pleasure, reduce the whole universe to ashes. All good qualities rest in this best among men, for he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of this manifested world. Therefore, wherever there is Krishna, there must certainly be victory. Through Arjuna, Lord Krishna will kill your wicked sons who are addicted to sin. It is by the will of the Supreme Lord Krishna that the wheel of time revolves, causing the destruction of all creatures. I tell you truly that he is the Lord of time, of death, of this universe, and of movable and immovable objects. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of even the Vishnu forms, has descended on earth in human form and is bewildering everyone with his internal potency. Those who are devoted to him can know him as he is, and no one else. Dhritarashtra then called Duryodhana into his room and inquired again about Lord Krishna. O Sanjaya, you say that the one we know as Keshava is the Lord of the universe. How is it that I am unable to know him as such? Sanjaya replied, O king, because you have no knowledge of the absolute truth, you are covered by the darkness of ignorance. Even though the Supreme Lord stands in front of you, you will not recognize him. Aided only by my knowledge, O sire, can you know who that best among men really is. That same one who is known as Madhusudana is the cause of material creation. He is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all that be. One who has become devoted to him can never be vanquished by material existence. Dhritarashtra inquired, how can one come to know Krishna as the Supreme Lord of this entire creation? Sanjaya replied, one who has given up all worldly pleasures and taken shelter of his lotus feet can know Krishna as the Lord of the universe. One who has cleansed his heart of all impurities can see that same Supreme Lord Krishna seated in the heart of all living beings as the Supersoul. One can only know that Supreme Being by controlling the senses and restraining from worldly temptations. Fixing the mind on his transcendental form, one can attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Dhritarashtra inquired, I request you, O Sanjaya, to tell me again of the lotus-eyed Krishna. Please tell me of his various names by which one may attain that most exalted of beings. Sanjaya replied, O king, I will tell you as many names of the Supreme Lord as I know. Keshava, however, is immeasurable and is above the power of speech to describe. He is called Vasudeva in consequence of his covering all creatures with the curtain of illusion, or of his glorious splendor, or of his being the support of the mighty creation. He is called Vishnu because of his all-pervading nature. He is called Madhava because he is the husband of the goddess of fortune. O Bharata, he is called Madhusudana because he once killed the powerful demon Madhu. He was born in the Sattvata race and given the name Krishna. The word Krishna means the attractive feature of the Lord's existence, and Na means pleasure. When the verb Krish is added to the affix Na, it becomes Krishna, which indicates the absolute truth or the reservoir of all pleasure. He is called Pundarikaksha, meaning one who has lotus-like eyes. He is called Janardhan because he strikes fear into the heart of all atheistic persons. He is also known as Vrishabhakshana. Vrishaba means the Vedas, and Ikshana means the eye. The union of the two means through the eyes of the scriptures he can be seen. The conqueror of hosts is called Aja, which means that he is unborn. Krishna is like the sun. The sun appears to take birth on the horizon, but it always exists. Similarly, Lord Krishna appears to take birth from the womb of Devaki, but in actuality he eternally exists. That supreme soul is known as Damodar, meaning one who is bound around the waist by his foster mother Yasoda. He is called Harishikesh because he is the Lord of the senses, and only by his grace can the fleeting senses be controlled. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Mahavahu because he holds up the earth and the sky with his two arms. He is also known as Adhoksaja because he never falls down or suffers deterioration. He is called Narayan because he is the resting place of all living beings. That Supreme Lord is also known as Purushottama because he is the foremost of all living beings. He possesses knowledge of all things and is therefore known as Sarva. Truth always resides in Krishna, and he is therefore known as Satya. He is called Ananta because he holds all the planets in their proper orbits. Krishna is the divine Lord of all beings, and it is he who will come here tomorrow to prevent the slaughter of the Kurus. Dhritarashtra then spoke to Duryodhana. O my son, let us together seek the protection of Lord Krishna and live happily in our kingdom. He is certainly our best friend and a worthy shelter of all. Duryodhana replied, If the divine son of Devaki, united in friendship with Arjuna, were to kill all persons in the universe, I still would not take shelter of he who is my enemy. In great anger, Dhritarashtra spoke to his evil son. This stupid son of mine has taken his vow to destroy our whole dynasty. Envious, wicked, and proud, he rejects the words of his superiors. Gandhari then spoke to her son. You are a fool. You never listen to the words that are meant for your own good. All the elders have spoken in favor of peace, but you alone desire war, which will destroy our family. You will remember your father's words when struck dead by the mace of Bhimasen. Dhritarashtra then spoke to Sanjaya. I envy those who are gifted with proper vision, who are able to see Vyasadeva as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We will soon be able to behold that Supreme Person when he comes here on behalf of the Pandavas. I will then put myself under the protection of him who has created the whole cosmic manifestation. I can now understand that he is the primeval cause of all causes and the creator of the three worlds. Every living being sings his glories. He is the foremost of learned persons and has previously descended as the younger brother of Indra. Oh, when will I take shelter of him? Thus Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra spoke about the glories of the Lord, but Duryodhana could not bear to hear such words. Due to his enviousness against the sons of Pandu and his insubordination to the Supreme Lord, he was destined for destruction along with all his family members. Thus ends the second chapter of the Udyoga Parva to the summary study of the Mahabharata entitled Peace Talks Between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Chapter 3 of the Udyoga Parva. Lord Krishna speaks to the assembly of kings. With the permission of King Yudhisthira, Lord Krishna set out for Hastinapur. He took with him the messages from the 5 Pandavas. The son of Devaki rode on his beautiful chariot drawn by his favorite horses, Saivya, Sugriva, Megapushpa, and Balahaka. He was followed by 10 mighty chariot warriors, as well as 1,000 horsemen and 1,000 foot soldiers. Understanding through spies that Lord Krishna had left Upaplavya for Hastinapur, Dhritarashtra addressed Bhisma, Drona, Vidura in the following words. O scions of the Kuru race, the news we hear is wonderful. Men, women, and children are talking about it, and all are speaking respectfully. The citizens are congregating together and discussing it in the open marketplaces. All are saying that Lord Krishna, the slayer of Madhu, is coming to Hastinapur. He is the Lord of all creatures, and on him rests the creation, maintenance, and destruction of this universe. Indeed, intelligence, prowess, wisdom, and energy all reside in this best among men. If he is worshipped, he is sure to bestow happiness, and if he is not worshipped, he is sure to be the cause of our suffering. If he is pleased with us, then all our plans will fructify. Let us immediately make arrangements for his reception. Let pavilions be set up along the road, furnished with every object of enjoyment. O Duryodhana, carry out this order of mine, and all our desires will be fulfilled. Following the instructions of the blind king, Duryodhana made arrangements for many pavilions to be erected along the road to Hastinapur. They were decorated with garlands, pictures, costly silks, and rugs of the finest quality. The finest foods were prepared, and the finest drinks were set aside for Lord Krishna. It was opulence on the level of the demigods, and was meant to bring the Lord of the universe to the side of the Kauravas. However, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, did not even cast his glance upon the arrangements of Duryodhana. He stopped at intervals of his own choosing, and very soon he arrived at Hastinapur. Before the arrival of Lord Krishna, King Dhritarashtra called for Vidura and said to him, O Vidura, Janardhan will soon be in Hastinapur. I propose to worship him with all the opulence that I can afford. I will give him 16 chariots made of gold and drawn by the finest horses. I will give him 8 elephants with tusks as large as plows. I will give him 100 maidservants with golden complexions. I will give him 18,000 woolen blankets soft to the touch, and 1,000 deerskins brought from China. Let Dushashan's abode, which is more opulent than Duryodhana's, be cleansed and prepared for his use. Let all the citizens of Hastinapur go out of the city to greet Lord Krishna. My sons, as well as Bhisma and Drona, may also go out of the city to greet that best among men. Vidura replied, I do not think that you have adopted the path of sincerity. Do not from stupidity cause the destruction of your own family members. You desire to give this small token of wealth to Krishna, but he deserves this and much more. I can understand that you do not wish to give all this opulence out of a motive to please him. Behind this gift is deception, falsehood, and insincerity. These external acts have revealed your real intention. The Pandavas desire 5 villages, but you do not want to give them even that. You want to win over the lord of the Yadu dynasty to your own side by means of wealth. You want to separate Krishna from the Pandavas. I will tell you, however, that you will be unable by wealth or attention or worship to separate Lord Krishna from Dhananjaya. Keshav will accept from you only a vessel of water for washing his feet and inquiries about his welfare. Other than this, he will not accept your hospitality, for it is saturated with falsehood. If you actually want to please Krishna, then you should give him what he has come to ask for. After receiving the kingdom due to the Pandavas, he will accept all that you offer him. In the presence of Bhisma, Drona, Dhritarashtra, Vidura, and others, the wicked Duryodhana said, I can by no means share my prosperity with the Pandavas. This is my final decision. Tomorrow I will imprison Krishna when he comes to our court. When he is confined within the walls of the palace, the Vrishnis and the Pandavas, as well as the whole world, will submit to me. We should carry out this plan in such a way that Krishna will not suspect our intentions. Responding to the foolish son of Dhritarashtra, the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, Bhishma said, This wicked son of yours, O Dhritarashtra, will soon come to the end of his life. He disregards our advice and is paving his way toward hellish life. You are also following his path, for you allow him to carry out these plans without restraining him. If out of stupidity this fool tries to capture Krishna, he will be destroyed in a moment. I will not listen any more to the words of this sinful person that has abandoned all virtue. Maharaj Bhishma then rose from his seat and left the palace, inflamed with rage. It was then learned that Lord Krishna was nearing the city of the elephants. All of the sons of Dhritarashtra, except Duryodhana, went out of the city to greet him. Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and all the others also went out of the city to offer a fine reception. Citizens by the thousands came out of the city to glance upon the beautiful features of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There was not one citizen who remained inside their homes when they heard that Lord Krishna had entered the city of Hastinapur. The people bowed their heads unto the slayer of the Madhu demon, and those who could not see the Lord from the ground ascended to the tops of the mansions to gaze upon the faultless features of the Lord of creation. The ladies showered upon him flowers of every description and embraced the transcendental form of the Lord within the core of their hearts to their full satisfaction. Lord Krishna then entered the ash-colored palace of Dhritarashtra and came into the beautifully decorated assembly hall where the numerous kings and princes were seated. The blind monarch stood up along with Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and Somadat. Lord Krishna greeted the kings according to seniority and years. He was then offered a spacious seat made of gold and set with multicolored jewels. At the request of Dhritarashtra, Lord Achyuta took his seat. Lord Krishna remained there for some time, laughing and joking with the Kurus according to their relationship with him. He then left their association and went to the abode of Vidura. Vidura then worshipped Lord Krishna with every auspicious article he had in his possession. While massaging the lotus feet of the Lord, he said, I cannot express, O lotus-eyed one, the joy I feel since you have entered my home. You are the inner soul of all creatures and the Lord of all creations. My home has certainly become blessed by your auspicious presence. Appearing in the Yadu dynasty like an ordinary person, you are bewildering everyone with your internal potency. It is a great wonder, my Lord, that these fools do not recognize your exalted position. My Lord, I pray that I may always be engaged in your pure devotional service, and that I may never forget you at any time. Lord Krishna and Vidura then talked for some time about the situation at hand, and in the afternoon Krishna went to pay his respects to Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas. He offered his respects to his aunt who had suffered so much on account of the atrocities of Duryodhana. He told her of the welfare of her sons and gave her all messages from them. After pacifying his aunt, he went to the palace of Duryodhana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead entered the palace of Dhritarashtra's son and saw him seated on a throne surrounded by 1,000 kings. He saw Dushishan, Karna, and Shakuni seated near the king, and as he approached, they all rose from their seats and greeted him. They offered him a fine seat made of gold and covered with the finest cloth. They offered the Supreme Personality of Godhead many auspicious gifts and much opulence. Then Duryodhana invited Lord Krishna to dine at his palace, but Krishna did not accept the invitation. The Kuru king then addressed Krishna with sweet words. but beyond his voice was deception and wickedness. He inquired, "Why, O Janardhan, have you not accepted the hospitality that is being offered to you? You are kind both to the Pandavas and the Kurus, therefore please accept our worship." Lord Krishna replied, "At the present moment, O king, you have not inspired me with love. Without any reason you have, from the moment of your birth, been envious of the Pandavas, who are endowed with all good qualities. Who indeed could do them the least injury? He who hates them hates me. He who loves them also loves me. Know that the Pandavas and myself are like a common soul. That wrathful, uncontrolled soul who hates and seeks to injure those who are pious can never enjoy prosperity in this life. He, however, who tries to win over by good wishes persons endowed with good qualities, even though he is adverse to them in his heart, enjoys prosperity in this life. All these offerings are contaminated by sinful desires, and I will not accept them. The food supplied by Vidura is the only food fit to be eaten." After saying this much, Lord Krishna rose from his seat and left the palace of Duryodhana, which was like unto a pit of snakes. He made his way to the abode of Vidura and took his meals there. While Lord Krishna was staying there, Bhisma, Drona, Kripa, and Baalika came and requested him in the following words: "O best of the Vrishni race, we place at your disposal all our mansions as well as the wealth in them." However, Lord Krishna did not accept their offers and sent them away with kind words. Lord Krishna and Vidura then spent the rest of the night discussing about the future of the Pandavas and the chances of a peace proposal. In the morning, Lord Krishna mounted his chariot and, followed by